All right, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is part two of the winners and losers of National Signing Day for college football. Part one didn't really include a lot of the winners. There was also a lot more losers that I just didn't have the time to include. So, making a part two for you guys here. So, starting off with the winners, um, got to talk about LSU. I didn't include them. I got some feedback about that, but yeah, LSU is definitely a winner. If you look at what Ed Orgeron was able to do with this recruiting class, you guys are coming off a national championship. Some people may argue that they should have been number one, but you look at the recruiting class as a whole, they pretty much got down most of their targets. They wanted a big tight end. They got it with Eric Gilbert, a guy that could play defensive end if they wanted to, or he can play his natural position at the tight end position, but a special talent, even more special than Thaddeus Moss, because you can line him up as a slot, you can line him up at wide out. At wide. And as far as just his talent goes and his footwork and his technique, he is arguably more of a receiver than I would say of a tight end. But dude's an athlete. He can play on literally both sides of the ball. Eric Gilbert is special. You get Elias Rick, a potential again. You get another number one corner, 5-star recruit. I've been watching Elias Rick for about a couple years now, especially when he was at Mater Dei. The dude had the best highlight tape. He had the best tape out of any junior, out of any cornerback I've ever seen play high school football, especially against the level of competition he did against. I've never seen anything like that kid before. So you're bringing in another special talent. This is a guy that could, I'm not saying he will, but he could start for you. Um, he could start for you right next to Derek Stingley. So you really got to love this move by what Ed Orgeron still able to do. Keep that DBU tradition going. Um, you got BJ Ojolari, the younger brother of Aziz Ojolari from Georgia. That's a guy that could be a special contributor. And just a lot more guys that they included, a lot more 4 and 5 star guys. Jacoby and Galore, that big old powerhouse of a defensive tackle that dude is. Dude's a beast. Jaquelin Roy, Keyshawn Bouette. I don't know how you say the last name, but Keyshawn Bouette, another speedster wide receiver that you would include in there. So they just got a lot more players. They pretty much got the majority of the needs that they want. Again, a lot more younger players that probably still need some more development in the future. But otherwise, LSU had a very successful class. A&M, great class, great class. These guys went 7-5, but they still did a great job. You're battling against the Alabamas, the LSU's of the world, the Auburns of the world, the Georgias. You're battling against some of the best schools when it comes to recruiting in the country, and especially Texas and Oklahoma, for to really control Texas. Texas has thousands of kids that can go anywhere in the country, but A&M did a great job. They out-recruited Texas, they out-recruited Oklahoma. They controlled the state of Texas, and getting some really really good kids like Demas. That's really really huge, especially for Jimbo Fisher in this program. Again, a lot more notable kids that I just can't really get the top of my head off of. But overall, I thought that A&M did a phenomenal job getting the quarterback of their future, getting some of the special talents, the receiving position, defensive tackle, defensive end, offensive line wise. They did a great job there. I thought A&M finishing sixth in recruiting. I think they were either third or fourth last year in recruiting. To have another top 10 recruiting class, you got to give a lot of credit to Texas A&M. Maryland. I thought Maryland was a winner. I understand these guys finished at 27th, but Raheem Jarrett was the biggest get. Raheem Jarrett was such a huge get if you are a Maryland fan, because again, the last decade, Maryland hasn't just been that program. Matter of fact, I don't remember the last time Maryland has been such a successful football program. So Mike Lively, he's doing a great job locking down that DC Maryland area. And again, you look at schools like Gonzaga, St. Francis Academy, DeMatha Catholic, St. John's, again St. Francis Academy. Those are some of the top schools in those areas, and the fact that you can potentially have a grip and potentially lock that down. They didn't lock it down, but again, they did a great job recruiting those areas, getting some special talent coming out of there. And again, the biggest grab was getting Raheem Jarrett from that DC area. So overall wise, from the DMV area, I thought Maryland did a good job. And again, as far as if Maryland can have a good year, or if they can continue to recruit that the way that they're recruiting, the DMV area could be very, very special for Maryland as far as jumping them up to maybe being a top 20, maybe top 15 class in the future. Um, Some notable losers I want to talk to you guys about. I'm going to include South Carolina on here. I just am, and I don't know if what the hell Jordan Burch is doing. I don't know if he's going to sign with South Carolina. If he does, then South Carolina is back to being a winner. But if he leaves and he goes to LSU or Clemson or whatever the hell he goes to, that's going to be an L for South Carolina. Now, for what we've been able to hear, it doesn't seem like he's signed there yet. I don't know. Will Muschamp, he doesn't sound confident. Listen to his press conference. I'm not particularly sure what is he doing. I mean, I just are you going to sign on the dotted line or what? I don't know. It's not fair for South Carolina and for these other programs. But you know, the fact that I think that they're going through the situation, I think South Carolina deserves to be in the L column. I mean, besides really the Jordan Burch drama, they did a great job recruiting, getting guys like Marshawn Lloyd, the running back from DeMatha Catholic. You're talking about a guy that could be an instant contributor right away. South Carolina, I'm going to put them in the L column for now. But if Jordan Burch signs that letter of intent, I think South Carolina will be fine. Florida State. I got to put them in the L column. They finished 21st in recruiting, which is not bad. Matter of fact, I actually think that they finished, I think, a little bit better. I think they finished, no, I think they finished worse than they were last year. I think last year they were in the teens. This year they're 21st. You normally see Florida State as a top 10, top 5 recruiting program every year. And the fact that Florida State's down to 21, they fired another head coach. Again, I think their head coach, Norvell. He's trying to rebuild this program. I think he got one new guy. But as far as controlling Florida, you're battling Florida, Georgia, Alabama. You're battling some of the top schools in the country, plus your in-state rivals like Miami and Florida for the state of Florida. The fact that you finished third as far as recruiting against those major programs against Florida and Miami, I don't know. I just again, we're used to seeing Florida State continuing to battle. We're used to the school just always getting the best players from the state of Florida, and the fact that even though they got talent, Florida State has a lot of talent. You can tell they're just in rebuild mode. It might take them a while before they ever get back to top 10 status. So I think Florida State deserves an L. Again, I'm not going to really get on them that much because of the situation that they've been doing since Jimbo Fisher has left. But again, just not used to seeing Florida State in the 20s. I'm trying to think of other schools that I think deserves a W. No, not really. I think that those are the notable schools that have just come to mind. I do want to talk about this play right here. Zachary Evans, I think, deserves an L. Now, Zachary Evans, he's a young kid. He's a kid that has a long future. He's going to go to college. He's going to go to college. He's going to go to a school, whether if it's A&M, whether if it's Tennessee. I think the only reason why I'm putting him in the L column is because the schools that he wanted to go to, they let him go. He signed that letter of intent to Georgia for such a long time. Georgia let him go because of disciplinary issues. Alabama decided to let him go. LSU didn't want to recruit him anymore. Ohio State didn't want to follow him anymore. His top schools didn't want him anymore because of whatever because of the off the field incidents. And now that there's even more recruiting drama, I think that there's more schools that want him. Of course, he's a 5-star athlete. This is a guy that he might not sign until like April or May. I think that I understand you want to go to where you want to go to, right? You want to choose what school you want to go to. You just don't want to rush a decision, but it could come to bite him right in the butt, right? It could come to bite him right in the ass. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully he decides to go to a school where he feels the most comfortable into. Hopefully he has a successful career and he becomes just a better person. But I personally believe I've never seen anything like this before from any player as far as the recruiting, but Zach Evans, I hope he gets it together. But anyway, guys, that's all I got for you guys as far as the winners and losers that I can think of so far. If you guys have any more winners and losers, you guys can let me know below in the comment section below. But anyway, guys, that's all I got for you guys today. This is Gen716. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.